3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for.
You know, what's been really interesting about the Cortex stack is looking at the reviews and looking at how it positively impacts people's life. Secure bottle of the Cortex stack at livecortex.com. You will love it if you respond well to it. One of the stories is, quick story is that a guy bought the stack for him. Took the stack, loved the stack, but then his wife started taking it. And he wrote a review on the Live Cortex website that his wife started taking it, and he was worried because they liked the stack so much that he was running out of the stack. So then he had to buy more bottles of the stack. It's not like it was a this big disaster or something that he had to buy more, but he was he liked the stack so much he got worried when his wife started taking it because he was I'm going to run out soon. So lots of cool stories like that on the livecortex.com website. Go read all the reviews and secure a bottle of the Cortex Nootropics stack. We are basically expanding the company, expanding Cortex. We already sell it in 6 countries now. Now we're blowing it up, and we're really going to take it to the next level. Build a few more stacks, which are going to be awesome and have great ingredients in them. Can't talk about the names quite yet because somebody will take them because they're great. And that's what's going on. Secure a bottle at livecortex.com. You will love the Cortex stack if you respond well to it. So I just want to make the quick announcement that we're going to be talking about more than, we're going to be sort of branching out into talking about biohacking and still nootropics, maybe a little bit of entrepreneurship, but mostly biohacking and nootropics. Now it's been exclusively nootropics, which is good, but I think there's a lot of overlap with nootropics and biohacking. A lot of people want to hear biohacking stuff, and I think a lot of you have responded well to some of the biohacking stuff that I've talked about in relation to chronic fatigue syndrome and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and some other stuff that I think is important to talk about. So that's just moving forward. We're just going to sort of start to integrate biohacking stuff into our videos. And I think a lot of you will like that because a lot of you like the content. I get a lot of positive feedback from you folks about the content that we're putting out here, and I like the whole interaction, and this whole channel has been an incredible experience for me to do it. It's now we're at 2,100 subscribers. We'll be at 5K, 10K soon enough, and we'll just keep growing from there. So we've been talking a lot about modafinil lately, so I just want to touch on modafinil. I got an email from somebody who watches the videos here and saying, look, I take modafinil. I like it a lot. I would like to intermittently keep taking it, but I keep running into this panic attack problem with modafinil, and I just kind of want to share my answer with this guy and see how this might apply to some of your situations that if you run into panic attacks with modafinil. There's this long study called the Mechanisms of Modafinil or something to that effect, where it talks about inhibiting cortical GABA in certain regions of the brain. It talks about facilitating the release of catecholamines. I think there's some serotonergic, how do you say that? There's some effects on modulatory effects on serotonin that take place when you take modafinil, and so there's a lot of implications there, and there's a lot we still don't know about what happens. And I think what we can rely on in these situations where people have panic attacks is looking at people's individual experiences and perhaps what might be a solution for them. I did a video quite some time ago talking about how this similar thing happened to me until I started taking 5-HTP every day. I was taking 5-HTP about 400 or 500 milligram quantities, which is a lot, for about a month or so, and then the anxiety that I was getting from taking modafinil went away. So I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but that's an anecdotal experience and report that folks can take away from that. But also I've come to realize that theanine in 500 milligram or more quantities would tone down anxiety for me and put me in a place where I don't have anxiety issues while taking modafinil. I'm just good and functional and good. But the overarching point of the email that I answered to this guy who asked this question to me recently about modafinil and him having literal panic attacks while taking it, or within the course of the time that it was affecting him, was, this is the takeaway. I think you have to identify why your body is prone to having panic attacks first. like the modafinil is certainly a player here, and it's certainly bringing it out based on what it's doing to your neurotransmitters and central nervous system. But I think that for a lot of folks, because it was certainly the case for me, that you've got to find out why you are more inclined to have a panic attack, period, even without modafinil, and address that. And I think only once only until you address that issue, you'll probably be prone to having increased anxiety levels when you take modafinil. You got to address the issue first. And so, whether that's your sleep, and you've got to start looking at your sleep and sleeping soundly with few interruptions consistently. Whether that's you consume alcohol on a consistent basis, which, if I drink alcohol, I get anxiety, so that's just one thing. Whether you were on some medications in the past that might have modulated your neurological makeup for the time being, or for the foreseeable future, or for a year or two until homeostasis can really fully kick back in, you can get normal again. Whether you're taking something additional right now that you don't think is contributing to panic disorder or something, and that but it is. Whether or not you have. All this stuff sounds crazy to people, but whether or not you have like some sort of post-traumatic stress that you're not dealing with, or something that you haven't taken a month or two to like talk about with somebody, or do a little catharsis, or even just try to hypnotize yourself, or meditate on it and sort of try to fix whatever's going on in your head around it in your body, so that ultimately you can turn down the central nervous system or the autonomic nervous system response to it. I know personally, me having been in the Army and fought in Iraq, I have PTSD, but it doesn't control my life. But I know there's, when I go out in public, I was a gunner on top of a Humvee for 9 of the 15 months I was there. The rest of the time I was on the ground, and I was a SAW gunner, small machine gun gunner, basically on the ground, raiding houses and doing things. And so, think about it. And people in my platoon died, and people in my company and battalion died. I had a rough time in some instances. Some patrols we'd go out and nothing would happen. Other patrols, guy would die. And so, I have when I go out in public, I'm very aware of things. I just see everything. I can't tone it down. It's just every movement, I see it. And so that serves me, and it doesn't. And so I've recognized over the years to try to figure out how to tone that down. And that helps me profoundly with things I might take that are stimulatory that might induce anxiety. Then they don't induce anxiety anymore, because I've sort of calmed down that background nervous system stuff that's always going on. And so whether it's that, or you're drinking too much coffee, you've got a sleep issue, you're drinking too much alcohol and that's causing anxiety, or you're taking too much tyrosine or something. You're not eating enough carbs, so therefore you're not making enough serotonin. That's something that the low carb community never talks about, and it is a real thing. You stop eating carbs, and after a while you're going to stop making tears. You'll stop making saliva the right way. Your gut's going to get jacked up, and these sorts of things. So you've got to look at every detail and try to figure out what predisposes you to having anxiety. Because plenty of people take modafinil and don't have panic attacks. Plenty of people. So why do you? That's what I wanted this guy to look at, and that's what I think folks should look at if they have the problem of having panic attacks while taking modafinil. What predisposes you to panic attacks? Plenty of people can take modafinil and not have panic attacks. How can you change things in your life and identify specifics? That's what biohacking is all about. It's sort of overlap with functional medicine, because that's how functional medicine is too. To figure out how to tone down your nervous system, or tone down your brain, or tone down your catecholamines, epinephrine or epinephrine, to put you in a place where you can take modafinil and not have a panic attack. What is going on that makes that happen? Sure, the modafinil induces it. It's a major player. But if you can figure out how to remove the thing that predisposes you to doing that, I think you can take modafinil and not have panic attacks. Thanks for watching.